You'll be fine. Hello, everyone. As you can see, I have a posse with me today. I was going to make everybody's window equally large, and instead I decided that I wanted to have a giant window, and everybody else could be super tiny. Welcome, everyone.
Does that make you
Brad.
feel better?
He's the biggest and the best.
I am the biggest and the best, baby. You're about to get crumped if you say something about it, is all I'm saying. All right. I have with me, starting from the top left, Mr. Sean, Dice with Rice, Mr. Steven, almost won Nova, Crawley, twice now, Mr. Brandon, still Frosty, Valley, and Mr. Judge, Brian Horton. Mr. Judge, Brian, Mr. Judge, I'll change it. I'll get it better for you. He's also been taunting us by his just sheer amount of models in the background while he was opening some models, and I need people to know that this man treats us badly. Just hurting us. We're going to start with rules first, everyone. Brandon, you're going to finally embrace your own kind and play dwarves. They are my people. As soon as they refuse to use psychics and accept that they hate all magic, then yes. So let's go with my personal favorite after having them dropped on me like it was hot at Nova. Devastating Wounds. Oh,
It's dead.
Thank you, baby. It's not dead. It's exactly what it should have been.
Yes.
If you're a big creature, you're still terrified of these. Because
but it's not. You're a big creature, so you just kill everything in the game by rolling a 6.
Well, let's talk about it. Devastating Wounds now ignore. They basically everything was the same in the beginning, but they don't spill over. So if you shoot a 10-man unit and my Wraith Knight does 12 mortal wounds, you kill Timmy, and that's it. And that fills my heart with joy. You know, right about the time that my Flash Gets took 52 mortals, and instead of taking the unit and soccer tossing it in my tray, I would have lost 6 dudes. That feels better.
Mm-hmm.
I do feel for a lot of tank data sheets that this kind of murders the rule, but that's fine. It's now one of the weaker of the new rules that we got in this edition, and I think that's also a really good spot for it to be in because it was way too powerful beforehand.
You shouldn't be able to rock out full squads with a anti-tank weapon.
I agree.
I like that they made it so it does what it's supposed to do.
Yep.
I'm not 100% sold on it ignoring invulnerables completely, but because I think that hampers some models that are point costed because of their invulnerable save. But at the same time, I think it's a very interesting mechanic that will vary and change up some list builds.
It's also infinitely better against Custodes now because they don't get to feel no pain.
Yeah.
The mortals.
Talk about Custodes in a minute, I'm sure.
Well, it's a big deal on this. I mean, you're just. I think this Devastating Wounds. We can argue about a lot of other things, but if this was always Devastating Wounds, I think that the game would have been less of a hanging turd for a long time. You know, it's at the beginning here. Like this is a lot of the when you have unfun moments. Devastating Wounds is part of that unfun conversation. You know what I mean? So let's rock this. Someone tell me what Insane Bravery is different. There's all red there, but like what?
You can only use it once per game now.
And you have to use it before you do the check, not after.
Oh, that's way worse.
Yeah, because you can't.
It's made a lot of the take battle shock test stuff much more important.
The battle shock is still a problem because of the fact that if you do it on your opponent's turn, that clears in the command phase. So it's still like it makes the checks more important during the command phase, but the mechanic as a whole is still not hitting what they were probably originally expecting. But the nice part is now is that you don't get to, oh no, I forgot and I accidentally failed my check to be able to get primary. Let me spend 1 CP to fix that problem.
I love that you're like, I forgot to use my loaded dice to make the
right. Well, I mean, you could use fate dice for freaking checks. I learned over the course of Nova, so that was dumb.
Loving life, living large. So let's go into firing Overwatch. I mean, the only thing that really changed is Titanic can't fire Overwatch now. And you can't fire out of line of sight. The enemy has to be visible, which I actually like quite a bit. Sorry, obliterators, you don't get to just obliterate my soul on Overwatch. But that's a big deal for a couple armies, you know what I mean? There was certain armies that fire obliterators, for instance, you know what I mean? Desolators. Well, Desolators also got jacked, so.
Right. Also in Fire Overwatch, you must have line of sight.
Yeah, that's what we were just saying. That was the Brian didn't even pay. Brian never pays attention to
I
this.
lost my train of thought there.
Too many nids clogging his brain right now.
And
it's that Norn emissary that needs to get built in 5 minutes.
That thing is good. Let's talk about my favorite thing that literally Crawley and I decided to argue about before we went live, because apparently we are east, west, north, south, whatever, when it becomes towering. Also, screw you, towering. Stay in your trash bin. Knights, you're welcome. It makes you better. I agreed with Crawley. But you know what also feels really good? Not trying to stand behind a piece of terrain that's obscuring and your opponent goes, I didn't like that rule, so I just shot through it anyways.
Yeah, no, this is like the best case scenario for all parties involved. Because now you have resilience, right? You get to dodge getting shot at. You don't have to beg, plead, and steal with your opponent before the game. Can I hide behind this one ruin from you going first and shooting from this one angle? But at the same time, Knights don't get blasted on turn 1. They actually have the ability to play the game and to be able to unpack their lists. And you don't just eat 6 freaking fire prisms on turn 1 and lose a big Knight and feel bad.
So this is the rule that you wanted in 9th edition.
Yeah, this is how I wanted it to be in 9th
Everybody
edition.
should add a 9th edition with this. Now, I have to give the unborn pants credit. Aircraft is still towering. So,
when's the last time you saw an aircraft in this edition, Brad?
Apparently he's going to rock the Harridan, so watch your face. It's going to happen.
If you're rocking a Harridan, you're taking advantage of the rules currently and putting it in not in hover, because you get to turn it on the table on turn 1. And since within counts from that tiny little base, you literally just behind the building within and not going for obscuring. So
it does have a wee little base for a giant ass model.
It's literally smaller than like a bike base. I think it's like an Outrider base.
Harridan skipped leg day, man. Harridan skipped leg day.
Did you guys skip the modifying a CP cost?
Yes.
All right. So
this is why I asked the order we get.
Well, I look for red and I go from there. Thank you very much.
I'm glad you can see that color.
I can see it against the black or the blue or whatever the hell it is.
Because it makes Brad go fast.
Hey, Sean, tell us about modifying a CP cost.
Okay. Well, as we mentioned in Brad and I's last video, I actually saved looking at these. So thank you for all of the 100 messages I received. I haven't looked at any of them yet. So this is my first glance at this. And let's see, rules that modify a CP cost. Looks like now you have to, if you're going to target multiple units with a stratagem, it looks like you can only modify the CP cost if it's only targeting that unit. So this is exactly what I wanted on our Nexus slide. Basically, you can't just chain +1 to wound everywhere, which is something people are already ruling on, but that's definitely very nice to see and a change we definitely wish listed. This does not apply to Aircast Colossus. I believe that is just the Manta. Is that
is that
right?
Big stuff.
I was just about to say,
what are battle tactic stratagems? Because it specifically identifies those.
So if you look underneath all the stratagems, they all have a listing for what type they are, whether a strategic deploy, a battle tactic, or something to that effect. I think there's
in Custodes
there's only
perspective.
3, is there not?
Well, no, but in Custodes perspectives, you can no longer free your fight first, but you can still use a free for your -1 damage.
Oh, excellent. So that was that was another change we wish listed. So I'm very happy about that. That is very nice.
The rules so far I've been super excited about, to be honest with you.
Also, has
Yes.
anybody reached out to Nick Rose? Because we might need to make sure that he's okay.
Whoa. We'll scroll down a little. Look at Nick, again, has a new baby. Everything's okay for him right now.
There you go. He's good. He's good.
There you go.
He's not in 40K land right now, so we're good.
He's in New Babyville. He loves everything. Yeah, so let's scroll down to a couple of these. Custodes. They changed in Waiver Settle stratagem to Epic Deed. Oops. I don't know what that means. Virtus Praetors went to 2 or 3.
They give them a middle ground so that you could do 2, 3, or 5.
No, it's 2 or 3.
Just 2 or 3.
Oh, just 2 or 3?
Yeah.
Oh, my heart and my collection that I no longer can use again, which we'll go into with Marines, which is going to make people sad.
The Custodian Guard went 4-2-5, not 4-10.
Yeah, that needed to happen.
Excellent.
Custodes.
I'm rewarded. I did not panic buy a bunch of Custodian Guard. I have the exact same amount as last edition, and that is the correct amount.
KR makes a good point on this too. You can't bring back a dude strat either.
Yes, correct.
That's a big deal, actually.
Also,
Well, it was 1 CP, so you were never really going to I guess you could do it so you could revive 2 dudes.
And
So, yeah,
also
that-
the stratagem thing. Stratagem that can be used more than once per phase or turn, a rule that allows a stratagem, even if another unit has been targeted by that stratagem, this phase or turn, but that do not specifically name the stratagem, can only be used to use battle tactic stratagems.
Ooh, okay.
Ooh, even
That's
better.
very good. That's very
Huge.
good.
That's something a lot of people are missing. So that means that you can never Overwatch twice unless it's specifically said.
Yes!
It's been fixed.
Overwatch.
Dude,
They
Ding
fixed
dong,
it.
the
all
Overwatch is
right.
dead.
Can we talk about like something badass right now though?
Sure.
I actually kind of want to play Death Guard for a second because I want to see the new aura ability is wildly better. I mean,
Yes.
I don't know if it makes the army like up as opposed to at the bottom, but dude, the aura of decay is just crazy good. It makes your if your enemy units within contagion range, you literally are -1 BS and weapon skill, and you basically have your save reduced by 1.
Yep.
What?
That's really good.
This is also in addition to the
hold
reduction
on.
of toughness, right?
Yeah, and you reduce the OC and leadership of all models by 1.
You have to pick one of these.
But I'm saying like
effects.
these are you can get any. I'm saying that you can get these. Sorry,
Yeah.
but like that's just a big deal, man. Like basically dropping down, especially with the sheer amount of like flamers and bolt weapons and shit they have, and saying, "Hey, man, your saves when I just cast Jinx on you." That seems pretty goddamn good. All right.
Yeah. And if I don't remember if they have an ability like they used to where they can select a unit and get a different contagion, but if they can, oh boy.
Yeah,
So-
this is very, very interesting. Obviously, first time I'm looking at it, the biggest thing for me out of that is you get to pick for each army that
Right.
you're playing against.
And it's
That's
not
huge.
Yeah,
no,
it's not.
It's in the declare battle formation step, so it's at list construction.
It is at list construction. Oh, that makes
It's
me a
at
little
list
sadder.
construction.
I was actually thinking I could choose it per game.
It's
It becomes
battle formations.
Yeah, that's when you're creating your list and you pick your detachment style. You're also picking your.
that's less good then. If you
That's
could
less
cha-
good.
yeah, I was thinking I could change it.
But
At
wait
the,
till you see those points
Uh,
reductions, my friend.
Their battle formation step was the step in which you are declaring what's attached to what's going into reserve.
I could be wrong. I'm checking.
Oh, okay. Then
Yeah.
that would be what we're
That-
saying.
if it's per-
okay, that's what I thought it was.
if it's per game, these are really really good. I mean, they're probably better anyways. But like, if this is per game and you can choose, what you're using at that's huge.
Yeah, declare battle formation is step 8 in
Nice.
the pre-game stuff.
I am
Yeah.
wrong, and I'm happy to be wrong. That's so much better.
You take
Yeah,
that.
So what are the contagion ranges? Off the top of your head?
It's per turn.
Yeah.
Well,
You are-
no, I get that, but what do they start at? Is it like
You're putting
3,
us-
6, 9?
You're putting us under the gun about Death
Death
Guard.
Guard.
rules.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say,
Yes.
yeah, I didn't have my Death Guard up, my bad. Sorry.
Sorry,
Hold on,
Death Guard
I'm
lovers.
looking it up.
Because all these rules are based on
And
contagion.
Austin
range.
also put a point out there that you can just literally take a help root and put a contagion on a unit you shoot. So,
Ooh.
I mean,
Ooh.
Now you can reduce AP. Oh, help roots. That their stock goes way up then.
yeah, I'm just saying that you could just. There's play here, man. There's play. All
Yeah,
right.
it is 369 contagion range.
Hunter's in
Yeah.
the house.
So it's
So-
not as good.
What's up, big dog?
I mean, 369 is still really fantastic. 9 inches is
Yeah, that's turn 3.
I mean,
No,
when
'cause
are
you're
you
gonna-
getting
you're
into
gonna-
melee
you-
of somebody on turn
You're
1?
gonna run your trash up right away. There's no way that you're not. I love it. Hunter's like, I heard the Death Guard are S tier and Eldar are C at best. I don't think the Death
That's
Guard
not
players
true,
are
but-
going to be wanting to run into Eldar. So, even after the stuff, let's keep going sideways, because all of the Deathwatch stratagems got toned to bolt weapons. However, there's like 1 billion bolt weapons in Deathwatch. Tell me how this affects that.
No more cyclone missile launchers, running
Fragstorm
infantry on
cannons.
2, Fragstorm cannons.
Oh, Fragstorm.
heavy
Fragstorm's
flammers.
huge. That's very huge. That was the big
Fragstorm's-
reason.
Yeah, I was
wanted
just
play
about to say Fragstorm is a huge volume of shots.
Which, by the way, should be bolt weapons.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of what they do fire actually. So.
But let's be honest. The way this rule was even worded in the fluff and everything, it should have always been bolt weapons. I don't know why it wasn't bolt weapons to begin with.
Game balance and fluff do not equate. Otherwise, good lord.
What's going on? What's
Like, how
going
many-
on? So, I don't know how badly that will hurt them, because a lot of the things like Inceptors are still bolt. I mean, obviously we're getting Codex anyways.
I think they're fine. I don't think it affects them that much.
It's really just missiles and desolators.
It's toning down Desolation Marines, which is what
Well,
everyone
they're already getting toned down. Let's keep going. We got Adeptus
keep going.
Mechanis. Basically, the Rangers are save 4, Invuln 5. Same thing with Vanguard. I don't think that really.
We're back to 9th edition.
Yeah, it doesn't really change.
Well, didn't they have like a 5-up save and a 6-up involved?
They have
Yeah.
5 up involved.
Okay.
No, they had a 6 up.
They had a 6 up. They went back down to a 5 up. They went back down
Yeah,
to what you were
they
used
went back
to.
to
of
9th
it.
edition.
Yeah, 9th edition.
Yeah, I think that's something that was holding them back, and I think with the points changes that we'll look at in a few minutes, I think that helps them immensely. I wish they would have changed their detachment ability though.
Yes.
So,
They're gonna. I think that'd be a very large change for a data slate, especially since they're supposed to get a book. I think they're one of the first ones to get a book in the next couple months.
They are supposed to get a book in November, December.
Yeah, so I don't think that they. I feel like they did a really quick band-aid. It's going to be a real easy way to get them gains. We'll also see that they got significant point drops very shortly. Spoilers. So I think they're going to be in a good spot until their book comes out.
let's talk about Phantasm. It didn't get punted into the sun, but they did kick it kind of into orbit a little. So I mean, it didn't right make it to the side, but
It's a good thing that Eldar don't have any good infantry units that they won't be switching to as their tanks get modified. You know,
tonight I'm actually going to build an Eldar army, and it's just going to be all the stuff that didn't get touched, and the army's totally fine. I'm just going to piss everyone off and go, I'm just going to play this the next tournament.
Yeah. Like all the points changes just hit all the things that we were taking competitively, but it's a good thing their codex isn't deep with a lot of good infantry.
The best is still the stuff coming out of the Falcon with full rerolls, like the 20th best unit in the game. So
Yep.
they're like, this doesn't even get this trash away from me. So I do like, again, the towering changes and the devastating wound changes are going to hit Eldar pretty hard in the not fun part of Eldar. Okay.
Yes.
You can still just play. I think Crawley is going to yell at me with this, but like I'm just stealing his take on this, which is I think that Eldar are going to be crazily good with good players. You just can't bully people with Wraith Knights and stuff like that.
Yep.
So
These are the changes that me and Brad were hoping were going to happen months ago, because this would have been putting us in a much better spot to determine where the actual power level of the book was. And we didn't get those. So we got them now. Yay!
it's what we want. It is what we want. I'm going to yell at Steven. Corrales, love you. But also, I forgot where my phone was because I never know where it is. So, exaction squads, 10-man units now. Sorry, I guess you could put a Cyber Mastiff with them, 11-man unit. But
Dead. Murdered.
That's exactly what they should.
well, I mean, it's the thing that they were supposed to be, man. It's supposed to be. It wasn't supposed to be the cheapest thing ever. You know what I mean?
Yes, but you say that, and then literally the Nid Dex has 15-point Ripper Swarm. For
Yeah,
what?
this is a hot take right now. I gotta go with that. You know,
Oh, I'm sorry.
Don't worry,
Did you say?
Ripper Swarms
Did you
will
say?
go back to
Did
3
you
to 6.
did you say 15-point Ripper Swarms?
20.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm sorry, 20.
Oh.
Wait, do these points count since the book isn't released until
Yeah,
Saturday?
They actually said that these are the points.
Ripper
Okay,
Swarms.
I'm sorry. Oh my
Ripper-
God.
Ripper Swarms
20
got-
points.
Ripper
My
Swarms-
You're
bad.
breaking the bank there.
Ripper Swarms got they got Votaan nerfed before the Codex actually came out. As
I don't know where
everybody
I'm going to
knows,
find that 5
Ripper
points.
Storms were a problem, guys. All right, now that we fucking poured one out for Nick Rose, let's talk about Gene Stealer Cult. And do you feel lucky, punk? So,
Hey man, I heard you wanted to nerf this book back to 9th edition. Congratulations, you just did it.
all you gotta do is roll hot, baby.
Hey, this was a punt on top of a punt on top of a punt.
This is what Eldar was supposed to get.
I really think somebody played against Gene Stealer Cult and went, no, fuck that.
Look, man.
And-
Well, the thing is, they
I'm
still
dealing with
work
the second-
as before. However, now you got to roll a 3-up in turns 1 or 2 and a 4-up in the in turns any other turn.
You know how many times I got my bike squad back when I was playing GSC competitively?
Look, man, if you play Rose, you know he's just going to roll 100% of his units will come back. So I don't even know why you're saying this. Just roll better.
I mean, I don't have to worry because Rose has already told me he's quitting GSC permanently, so we're good. I don't have to worry about seeing GSC competitively ever again.
Yeah, they also have a wacky damage output. They still have the ability to drop all of the Skyhook bombs on you.
Yep.
It's a big deal. I mean, you say this and you're going to play this and then your next tournament and your opponent's going to get all of his units back and you're going to be like, they should have nerfed him harder. This
I
is
think
bullshit.
with the mortal wound stuff combined with the stratagem changes, they're fixed.
Yeah.
I
don't
think
think that they're
with a
broken
solid
either.
upper B tier army, possible A tier in the right player's hands. I think they're perfectly fine and balanced, which is what they needed to be.
Do I have that meme? I don't have it ready because we're on a different screen. I was going to play perfectly balanced at Thanos. League of Votaan. Somebody tell me about the grudge token change.
Instead of getting 1 or 2 units, you now get 4 units at 2K that start with 2 grudge tokens, and you have, again, points increases we'll go over, but I don't think it's enough. I mean, it's like a 20% increase in points, so you get an extra 400 points of dudes, depending on what your list was looking at. Like, you get a free Sagittar if you were taking 6 or 5 already, but it's still, like, that army was mechanically problematic.
I think this makes it so they're going to feel like they're playing on turn 3 with all their toys to start the game. Where before, you really had to just basically hide for the most part at the beginning of the game, and you had to wait until turn 2 to 3 to start doing things. This one allows you to start the game doing stuff. I fundamentally think you're going to feel better playing Votaan. It took them from, and I'm not taking them out of the box army to probably a C tier army, which is much better than they were.
So what do the
RTT to
tokens
have
do?
fun.
So what do
It's
the
plus
tokens
1
do?
to hit
Plus one did.
and plus
Yeah.
1 ballistic skill.
Yep. So let's talk about Desolation Reigns going down to 5. It's legit.
God, I hate when they invalidate people's models.
Look at, man. You knew from the moment t-shirt guns came out that you were living on the edge of never
Right.
seeing these models on the table
I
ever again.
agree, but point them into oblivion, right? Like just I hate this is the same thing with the Ork buggy change. Don't invalidate people's purchases. Make a 5-man squad cost or a 10-man squad cost 500 points. then nobody will take them. But Timmy, who goes to the store, who complains the loudest, can still take his 10-man squad and can still take Bolter Drill with his 560-point unit and feel good about himself.
So
Right?
here's where I get to go. These models weren't available outside of one very limited edition box. You got 10 in the box. You got 2 squads. Most people didn't buy multiple boxes unless they were uber competitive players to start with. I think this is an okay change. It fixes them. Their massive points increase now is probably a little too much that they got. You could probably bring them back down a hair with them not being 10-man squads, but this unit hasn't been balanced since it came out. This is probably the closest it's getting to it.
Sorry, we got a couple things. Bondsman abilities only go on armatures.
No more Crusaders hitting on 2s. Thank
Yes.
God.
Thank you. For those of you who don't know, Crawley and I took a look at the indexes the first time, and I went, "No, that can't be right." And he went, "Yes, it absolutely is. Your big knight is now the squire." And I went, "That doesn't even make any sense." So I'm glad that we are back to that.
Also, I want to throw this out there for Crawley. Do you have some sort of sixth sense that you can find instantly any bullshit rules that are in any book? You're like, hold on, there's a disturbance in this book.
For those people who don't know, I do cyber law as a part of my job, so I'm used to reading through bullshit and finding contract loops and stuff like that. So if you ever want to find something broken in a codex, give me the book in an hour and I'll find you things that they didn't
Every
need to
time, dude. You are just such a madman with that. I'm like, you've had this book for a minute and a half. You're like, I can just sense it. Page 82, right there.
The bullshit is strong with this page.
What is the strategic ploy difference in the Grey Knights? Just because, go ahead.
You can't use the free strat on it. That seems very much like what they wanted out of that.
I'm down with that. You guys ready for some pointage?
I'm ready.
Oh yeah.
Points time. Thank you, by the way, GW, for marking the changes, but still only using your red marker, so we can't tell actually what goes down.
Hey, luckily for me, I've got Reddit up. So here's the question: do we want to just scroll through the Reddit thread instead of looking at
Let's
the
scroll through the Reddit page.
Yeah,
the problem is that it's literally a bunch of people talking shit, and then the next one, and then a bunch of people talking shit, and then the next one. And
We should have asked our Sean to culminate all of this into an Excel document for us before we started.
You know
Yeah,
what?
Sean.
You should have.
You know, I've got both of them up side by side, so we could run by it really fast if
All
we
right,
wanted to.
you're in charge. I'll keep flipping between both, because I like to see chat. So let's talk about sisters. Everything went down 5 or 10 points, except for the Paragons, who were wildly overcosted. And even going down 40, I was like, is that enough? Like,
No.
exactly. I was just like, that's when you know you've messed up a price. When you're like, it went down 40, you're like,
Crusaders did go up 5 points.
because why not? Sisters were
Because 20
dominating.
points was too cheap, so we gotta make it 25.
Yeah.
Listen, unless you're a Ripper Swarm, you don't get to be a cheap scoring piece, okay?
I think
So-
Crusaders are a little more durable than a single Ripper Swarm.
Now,
So-
are we going to see if the Kroot Hound survived? Do we still have a 30-point
Yes,
investigate
we-
signaling?
we-
Whoa,
do.
whoa, whoa. You
Good.
can't go. You're jumping the gun, my
Good.
friend.
Tau Empire starts with a T, so we're still
Yeah,
in
we're
Adeptus.
we're not even close.
That does say OC0 on the Ripper Swarm still, right? I am correct on that.
I don't
Every-
care about
all-
that.
all
I
the
don't need
swarms.
OC to score investigate signals, my friend. And also, I can charge them into your crap to make your OC go down by half until you put one attack into it to kill it. But still, we're going to ignore that part. and
Is
see how cool it
is this enough for sisters to be played more?
No.
No.
I agree. All of their points. I actually think that sisters should have got like wild point increases or mechanical increases.
Huh?
Sorry.
Increase.
Yeah.
I think
Look at
sisters.
Matt O'Hara and you go, no, you can't have
I was
any
just about to say, O'Hara and Ketchum, screw both of you guys. I want your army to go up 150 points.
Sisters needed to become a horde army, and I still don't know if they would be good enough.
Yeah.
So to put it in perspective, Brad, because I did the math on this one. So the list that Eloise was playing and that I played against Sean a couple weeks ago, we got an extra 125 points. And that 125 points doesn't solve the anti-tank and anti-monster issue.
I agree.
Yes, it does.
You know
if
what?
you take Castigator.
Sorry, sisters.
Doesn't.
I'm scrolling down.
It,
Custodes.
they just have long range issues that aren't solved. Period.
Custodes.
slap.
Why?
Another slap and another slap.
Just
Custodes got smacked hard.
Also, why Venatari? Like they were already jacked. You're like,
I
hey
thought they
man,
went down. Did they go up?
let me scroll it.
No, they went down.
They went down, sorry.
They're approaching. For anybody who doesn't know, this unit was very close to playable as a 3-man squad in Custodes for rapid ingress. I don't know if we're there, but this is certainly very close, if not already there, for just taking Venatari now.
Hey, all I have to say is, Allura's Terminators were fully bullshit, and they went up by like 5 points a model. They're still full. Or did they go down? They went down by 5 points because they were. Are they 65 now, or are they 75 now?
They're 70.
We got to stop for a minute. Matto with the super chat, $10. Be ready for 30 Arco lists, baby. Excited for sisters, and you can't bring me down.
So many attacks.
That
Yeah,
might be a
Allura's
real
Terminators?
thing. How much did they go down? Arcos went down 5 points,
20
right?
20 points for the 10-man, I believe. Double
So
check for
390
you.
points.
Yes, they went down 20 points from 150 to 130 for 10
Brandon,
Arcoflagellants.
As our resident, I only play garbage. I demanded an RTT to see the third acro list.
Alaris
if
went
you
up
buy
to
them.
70, guys.
If you buy them, I'll take it.
Allura's are fantastic for their points and what they do and everything. They were already fantastic, and with everything else getting punched in the actual gut, they are still freaking amazing.
Basically, did everything go up like 5 points here, I think, right?
The jet bikes went down.
It went up by an average of 15%, except for jet bikes.
Did the jet bikes become playable?
No, they didn't get any rules changes.
The sisters models you weren't taking went down in points. Like, you're not going to incentivize me to play the sisters models. Like, I'm going to take my standard just 4-man girl squad, and I'm not going to dip into vigilators or witch seekers, anything like that. They're not very efficient.
Everybody's got a point in the chat that their detachment rules now just suck. So,
Sisters
Well,
or Custodes?
Custodes. They just don't make any difference now.
Well, they do for those hazardous weapons you're shooting. Right?
Sure, if you what you
And
have.
Hey. There are still other sources of mortal wounds that exist
tank explosions.
outside of death wounds. Thousand Sun. Oh wait, they got nerfed.
Also, I'm seeing a weird one here. Why did the Contemptor Achilles go up 10 points? Who is taking
The
that?
guy was dominating people, dude.
He
Dominating.
was still playing at his speed 11. He didn't realize. He didn't get. The
Yeah,
nerf
he didn't
notes.
realize. Yeah, it's like, no, man, you set that thing on the table and it just is a paperweight. Like, you walk it slowly at your
Here
opponent.
we
You know
go.
what didn't go
Hold
up?
on,
The
Jeff's
Telemon.
coming in here with us. If he does have one, he goes tank
Yeah.
shock, grenade strat, explosions. There you go. You have an entire detachment that's
Oh
again.
god, it is great against tank shock. Absolutely fantastic. I've only seen grenade strat being used by the Saboteur, and I'm no longer worried about GSC anymore. Oh, GSC when you the Saboteur when you walk in her range and she hits you with a Dark Lance worth of mortals too. See, man, Custodes got the best thing anti GSC. OP.
All right. Is AdMech, is this enough?
So are we talking about Custodes? Is this enough? Or
We went
Admech?
I went to AdMech. We have like a lot of people to cover. We have to move on.
No, but I think it's a fun army that you can now successfully win your RTT, win a local GT, and have a really good time at a major and go like X and 1, X and 2 with now.
Also, you're not like priced into breacher spam because
Yep.
every 10-man block of Rangers now costs 35 points less.
Well, I mean, they were
that adds up.
wildly overcosted, as we talked
Yep.
about. So
And with their save being better, I think that's That's
What?
fine.
You
Did
put it-
breachers go up or down?
Down.
They couldn't have gone up.
I mean, we say that, and yet Crusaders went up in points and Sisters, so anything is possible.
true
in this
story.
world.
True story.
I actually think AdMech got considerably better. I don't think they climbed up to like the 50% win rate, but I think you're going to see them in the 45 win rate now.
Now, when they actually get a detachment.
Yes.
I mean, but I'm thinking to myself, if I'm looking at this AdMech list, and I'm like, if I just max out all of these small units, I'm just going to take everything and just be everywhere on the board. Can I do that now with these point totals?
Yes.
Probably.
Yes,
Yeah.
you can. For example, Electro Priests are now
55.
60 points. Yeah, 60 points for 5. I mean, or you could take a 10-man. But just the fact that all of these are reduced so much, you kind of can do Brad's favorite thing, which is just throw trash at your opponent until they
I'm
lose.
just saying, I could put 1 billion models on the board with this army. I feel like I could win some games with it.
Yeah, Skystalkers are still really good for being able to drop down in corners and do things. They have Deep Strike. You still have really good play with Cerberus Raiders and stuff like that. The hard part that they're going to have is pulling people off of objectives when the objective is half on and half off.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to have a hard time in Hammer and Anvil, too. The 3
Yes.
in the middle is going to be a bitch.
Exactly.
So
But-
I don't think that this army is like S tier or anything, but I feel that you can dust off your models and at least play. You know what I mean?
It would be a fun day. I think it would be. You'd also have a really good matchup into Eldar.
I don't even think they have enough guns to kill you right now, especially
Right.
with
And
mortal-
again, you have a
with-
5-up invuln.
with mortals not splashing over. That this is a big deal to me. That the combination of that, the points went down, but then mortal wounds don't splash over, so you don't have these armies that can just go, hey, 20-man squad, you're dead. You know.
Yep.
So I think it's legit. We'll see. This is one of my least favorite armies, so I don't really care. But
I honestly think that they're probably low B right now. Like with what they
Yeah.
can do and the stuff that they can pull
I'm
off.
just thinking about going against people. Like you could literally make Gaunt Carpet with
Yeah.
AdMech. You know what I mean?
Raider carpet. The
Yeah.
Ranger carpet.
Exactly. Ranger and Vanguard. It's just, they're 8-point models. You know what I mean? So I could put that in the priests, both Electro, Fulgurite,
and
and Corpuscari, and just slam them on the board and just go, hey, man, I got 200 models on the board. Figure it out. You know what I mean? So I think that there's something to be done with this.
They also play a very unique game with their planes because their planes still have shticks.
All right. I'm not even talking about Titanic. So move on. So Eldar, there's so much that got nerfed here. Let's say my personal favorite is the guy that has done almost nothing, but he was a problem because he was giving CP away. The Weight Leaper. Fuck you, Weight Leaper. 35 points. This guy's killed 3 models. He's like, I sit in a lawn chair and generate CP. Yeah, you can go screw yourself.
It's because I used him in the finals of Nova and actually killed models with him. That's why they went up
What?
35 points.
Also, Dark Reapers went up. Were Dark Reapers watching a video at their house? And who was playing them?
They got the Trigon hit.
Yes,
Yep.
the try.
How many points did they go up by?
5 and 10. 5 points. So,
Yeah, it basically just doesn't. Yeah,
I mean,
they
it was
didn't
nothing.
really get a change.
No one. They were literally over hanging out at the Trigon's house having a sleepover. And their points.
No.
Like, why?
Austin with the S++ down to S or A tier. No, they're still S++. They're just going to hit you with different things. We told you this book was super deep. They got rid of the obvious, oh my gosh, I anti-tank everything.
I will make a list tonight. At 7 o'clock, we're going to do list. Everybody's bringing a list tonight.
Yep.
And my list, I'll bring one. I'm going to bring 2. One of them is going to be Eldar. And I'm just going to literally weave around the nerfs and just continue on like nothing happened. So,
Yep.
Which means
you're
that
going to be like, what?
Yeah, man, they didn't hit the Night Spinner hard enough, and that just means you're
You know,
gonna
there's
have the
this
same
really
problems.
cool strat that they have where like Dire Avengers can pop out of a Falcon with 4 rerolls to wound, and then they get on 6s to wound, they get +1 AP, like old Hail
Plus
of Doom.
2 AP.
I mean,
Plus
just
2 AP,
I
I'm
mean,
sorry.
you
Yeah,
can
that's
actually
so freaking
put
fantastic.
put your rando fire dragons in there. There's a lot of things that are in this codex. that are-
Farah, still freaking good. And look, not touched.
I mean, the answer is there's a lot of stuff in here. I love the fact that no one uses the Troop Master with full rerolls with
Yep.
the unit. Like that's
They will
trash. Exactly. Matt goes, when the card is ravaging my backline, those 80 points are not going to feel any better.
God.
So
Does every Eldar list now start with 2 Night Spinners in the?
it always does.
Yes.
It always
They
does.
always did.
It's-
Yes.
I won 3 games at Nova.
Damn it! I don't
on-
have the meme. The astronauts. It always was.
I won 3 games at Nova on turn 1 because Night Spinner killed something. She comes down and kills something with her spray on accident, and I'm like, "Oops! I have nothing else to do. Let me just go kill something else." Oh darn! I just killed 600 points of your army with 3 models. Whoops! Poor TJ Lanigan.
You know
it
what
was a really great game.
You know what it's, you know what it's not going to be, by the way.
Huh.
Dark Reapers.
Yeah.
I don't know. Dark Reapers
they,
are so good.
They touched the boogeyman in Eldar, right? They got rid of the Wraith Knight. They made him, I don't want to say unplayable, but pretty damn
He's
close.
unplayable, dude.
He's unplayable.
With
Yeah,
the devastating wounds,
kind of
that guy was literally carried along by devastating wounds, and with devastating wounds not carrying over, and another big point hike, that dude's never coming off the shelf.
Yep.
So, and I know that
Yeah.
everybody's going to be like, "Yeah, go fuck yourself," like, and he can stay there. Know your place, trash. So,
All right, so they're still an A plus or S tier army without a doubt.
They're
Yeah.
S plus.
I don't.
I will
don't-
go no longer with an S plus.
I will say that they're S. I will just to be contrary.
They're going from 80% to like a 65 to 70% win rate now.
I think they'll be around 58 to 60, but yeah, they're still gonna
Brian,
be-
what would you like to bet? I'll give you a month and we'll see if the numbers average.
I'll
out. What do you
bet
want to
this. Dinner at the
Dinner.
next thing we're together.
absolutely
Deal.
with the next
Deal.
event together, without a doubt.
Okay,
I mean, good dinner.
good dinner.
Matt
Well,
does have a good
that
point.
depends on the level of dinner we're going to.
Oh no, make it hurt. I mean, we're gonna do
we're going to a steak.
buffet at LVO because that's when the
Buffet
next
at LVO,
points.
deal.
That's when the next points drop is going, or points change or whatever is scheduled for.
You-
So if they have to get one, if we know they have to get one,
Do you guys think
you
that
gotta buy
I'm going
dinner.
to remember at LVO something we said today? I might forget this at the end of this video, let alone LVO.
Yeah,
Are
probably
you
15
insane?
minutes from now.
No, well,
All right,
anyway,
so it's
moving
gonna
on.
Flip it.
We have a
to
ton of
National
factions to
Military.
go through.
Forge World points, don't care. They're there. Ages
Shout
of the
out Spectre.
Imperium, Voidsmen and Arms went up, which we kind of all knew they were going up. Exaction, obviously.
How did the Vect Assassin, which was the best assassin with the redeploy every freaking turn, go down by
Down.
25
like,
points?
like a lot. A
Because
lot.
Steven, it only works on battle tactic stratagems, not all stratagems.
Oh, that was clarified. I read that blurb and I didn't mention it, but yes, you can
Yeah.
only use it on battle tactic strategy.
Well, I
So
don't
you-
care about Vect as much anymore. She's still one of the better assassins for her redeploy every freaking turn. Hey,
Yeah.
I have a secondary in this corner. I have a secondary in this
He's no
corner.
Evisaur.
Does he ever store redeploy every turn?
No.
Absolutely not.
Get Vected.
The loser.
We
not
still
only-
have not seen the cow suit. I don't. Everyone
It's
keeps
It's
saying
never
literally
going to
in my.
happen.
It's in my car.
Tom's not going to show up to events anymore. He came to an event and he was like, "Oh, I don't know how to play competitive 40K anymore. Wraith Knight carries me."
Look, man, the guy
Love
that
you,
made his
Tom.
list was a genius.
Yes, it worked.
So yeah, we found that out in a playtest games at Lyle's house. We had the Condo RTT, and in Overwatch, he was just murdering everything. And he's like, I kind of think that I like this. So let's talk about IG. What all went down?
Oh my gosh, so much went
much.
down.
Yeah, did it go down enough for us to think that the also Venatari went down like 70 points, right?
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
could-
they're-
sorry.
They're very much where I'm looking to go right now with Custodes after that.
They're really good in 3-man bricks.
All right, somebody tell me the exact points for IG because I can't find. I mean, I can see
Cool.
on things.
It is things that went up. I'm going to start there because there's less of them. Scout Sentinels. That shouldn't really surprise anybody.
Nope.
by far the best unit.
It's like
respawns?
laughably the best unit they have. You continue.
Yeah. Just double checking here, making sure I'm not missing any of them. That might be it.
How much?
Sorry,
did-
scanning right now. I don't think that's.
Hey,
I think that's it.
all I'm saying is Harker.
Fulgrim go down. That was the one that, like, they look like they went down quite substantially.
Yeah, spicy units that went down. Gaunt's Ghost, fantastic unit right now. Went down 20 points, 15 points. Went down 15 points. You have the general infantry going down a few points. Sure, you have Harker going down to 40 points.
I just said him. Harker went down so much.
Then you have small points across all of the tank versions. Let me double check. The Eradicator, down
Lots
20
of people
points.
happy about the rust drops.
It looks like the rust dropping about 20 points or 15 to 20 points.
It was 15 to 25 on depending on what model.
Yep.
The big thing on this is I think that Chimeras went down and some of the infantry went down. Can you spam things in front of your indirect now?
Yes.
For sure.
I think that this just makes the army more versatile. I think this army was terrifying anyways, to be honest with you. The artillery spam got more shit to go with artillery spam, and I think this makes it scary, to be honest with you.
100%.
I don't know.
Take Gaunt's Ghost. If you haven't picked up Gaunt's Ghost, sweet lore, sweet models, also really good.
Yeah,
What do they do? What makes them good? 'Cause
they've got sick ass books, bro.
They also
cool.
teleport-
That doesn't help in the game.
They teleport around the table.
They
and
teleport
do
around. That's their big thing. 'Cause,
Teleport
you're
Don't
tar
they have
pitting.
lone operative as well?
I'm sorry.
They have lone operative as well.
Uh-oh. Peaches and
Yeah.
Destroyer coming in with the $2 super chat, babies. Brad, Space of Points be spicy. Santa's back in town. Ooh, I haven't actually looked at that because I was going and then I was like, oh shit, we gotta go live. So we gotta I'm ready to see the sleigh. Black Templars, guys. Everything got changed. What got changed? Yes. Sorry. Enhancements didn't get changed.
It looks like it's all just cheaper by a couple points.
Everything went down a little. Does this make them legit? I don't
Have to wait till the new Marine Codex.
I mean, it's new Marine Codex on that. True. But I don't know. Like a lot of things went down.
But they're not going to get as affected by the new Marine Codex because the new Marine Codex is not the Black Templar Codex.
Well, it's also compliant. All the Marine Codex is going to have all the compliant chapters.
Yeah, but it's the other units that help pick up Black Templars.
True. Well, I mean, I would say Crusader squads and Sword Brother and stuff like that. Also, Hellbreak went down, which is legit.
Hellbreak and Grimaldus, both fantastic units, actually.
Right. Like, they're badass, and they both went down.
The only thing that I usually see a lot of Black Templar lists rocking that's not on this list is the Land Raider for the delivery system, and that's the only thing that really... Most of it's just spamming these bros to run across the table and use their abilities.
Well, I think Land Raiders went down.
But I do want to point out the Impulsor went down 30 points. So that definitely could get you
my
guys where you need to go.
Hit my float bus.
Let's keep on. Blood Angels. Well, Sanguinary Guard couldn't have gone up. So.
Bold assumption, sir.
I mean, they went down 80 points.
Yep.
Are they still overpriced? Maybe.
Yes, they still are overpriced.
Yeah, they're still overpriced.
Wow, they didn't like them.
Please get Blood
Death
Angels
Company
back
went
plus
down.
1 to wound.
Everything went down.
Everything went down.
Ooh,
Everything
the
went
Death
down.
Company, big. That's big for them.
Yeah, and some things went down crazily and still made them at least worth talking about now. Sanguinary Guard, like, you could have put them in a wood chipper. They were so ridiculously expensive.
Mm-hmm.
So even the Sanguinary went down points. This is really big for them because I'm looking right now, they're getting almost 200 points in their list.
Oh, easy.
That they were taking. That's huge.
I mean, that's legit. You know what I mean? So I think that this is a big change. I don't know if this makes them super big on the tier list. Obviously, we'll see with the new codex, but like, man, getting that many points back is huge.
Yeah, but it's still an issue that their assault isn't doing as much as it used to.
Correct.
Yeah, we didn't get the big melee fix we were hoping.
We need
their damage is actually pretty good. Like the Death Company Marines jump pack, pistols and power fists. while it's not good compared to what we've seen, like last edition, it's really good melee for this edition. Not in a Gladius. I would not take Blood Angels specifically. I would not take in a Gladius. I would take the actual detachment, and I would just put 3 bricks of Death Company, 2 bricks of Death Company, something like that, just running straight at your opponent. Tactically, not.
I was about to say, God damn it, Sean.
We're not talking orc running here. But if you're tactically moving in position with them, like they're a real problem. Because you can't just screen them out or something. They're infantry with fly in this edition, and that's really, those are the keywords you want when you want to move around the board with your melee unit.
Love it. I think that they're significantly better. Chaos Demons. Are we pouring one out for our homies?
Oh God!
I think we have to talk Kai off the cliff because Kai's very upset about Chaos Demons.
How in the world?
What happened here?
Demons get nerfed
Shalaxi
harder than Eldar.
Shalaxi got 50-point increase. The Lord of Change went up 30 points. The Demon Prince, why? The guy, he was sitting with the Dark Reapers and the Trigon at his house, going, "Why am I being nerfed?"
Oh boy! All right.
Bloodletters got cheaper. Bellicor got more expensive. Basically, everything that you were taking got more expensive.
I just don't understand why, right? Like right now, in the current environment that we were at, demons were not tearing up the meta. They were like struggling.
Sorry.
They were worried.
Where I think they felt like that if they did do something, they were going to climb too high with the other nerfs they made.
I love that Kyle just comes in with, "I am unwell."
Poor Kyle.
I did see Soul Grinder went down points. That may not seem like a big deal, but the Soul Grinder was always on my radar of ooh, this actually could be, okay.
How many points did it go down?
Only 15, but when everything goes up, 50, 25, 20.
But isn't that the net same when you account for the big boys that you had to take anywhere, like Bellicor? Like, okay, cool. Bellicor is still mandatory for the faction. So
yes,
Soul Grinders went down, but you pay for it with Bellicor anyway.
I was already...
and your one Lord of Change. You gotta take your Lord of Change.
Your Lord of Change also went up 30 points.
Lord of Change was significantly undercosted, especially compared to the other ones. That was
sure.
That was something you should have been expecting.
Shalaxi going up 50 points.
That makes no sense whatsoever.
He was already a big price tag.
Shalaxi is my bane, so I don't mind that she got hit with the hammer.
So fiends are actually okay. For 20 points less, I'm gonna have to see how they play on the table, but that's not nothing. And 40 points less, obviously, for the 6-man squad.
Yeah, but they didn't lower bloodletters enough.
Can they breach?
The bloodletters went down 20.
They should 40.
Yeah, I really think they're just not very good.
They're still overpriced.
Yeah.
There's still one wound models that cost a fortune.
Yeah.
Well, it's that you really need to take a character with them for them to do anything, and dropping the character by 5 points doesn't. We need a 50-point Bloodmaster and 100-point Bloodletters, then you're finally taking it.
Did they nerf the crap out of that stupid model that if they roll a 6, I can't shoot? Because I hope that thing got nerfed into oblivion.
So you're not a big fan of the Changeling?
I'm not a big fan of my opponent rolling 6s and making it to the point where I can't shoot every freaking turn for 3
I got one better for you. Jeremy Stan and I playing a game. I kept his Custodes locked in combat with my Changeling, unable to hurt it for 4 rounds of combat.
How many battle shock tests did he fail?
All of them. He failed every single battle shock test. It was amazing. Well, it was amazing. It was amazing for me to watch. To actually play it, I'm sure that was miserable. But
Custodes failing battle shock tests is a weird thing.
I'm scrolling down. Hey, Chaos Knights, welcome to accidental nerfs as usual.
No. Chaos Knights went up.
No.
Up through the roof. 20-point reductions on carnivores.
I was going to continue because usually that's what we start with. Because Chaos Knights get, hey man, again watching TV, Imperial Knights got nerfed and they just kicked us. But this time, they didn't. I think it's legit now.
140-point carnivores, I can only get so erect.
So how many points were they before?
They were 160, so it's 20-point reduction
Yep.
on each one. 10-point reduction on the Stalker. I think the Brigand went down.
The Stalker went up. The Stalker went up 15 points.
I was saying Stalker was the cheapest one.
Oh, my
And
bad.
the huntsman went up. The executioner went up.
Yeah, the executioner went up 10 points.
So the shooting ones went up a little bit, and the
Yep.
melee ones went down. If only there was a list that someone was really enjoying playing that had no shooting ones whatsoever.
Yeah, actually, I think my Chaos Knight list is down points even after this.
Mine went down by 200 points.
Like what's
So-
happening here.
Yes.
Scrolling CSM. Kind of all over the place, to be honest with you.
Everything that they took that they were enjoying, they got the demons.
The Don got bopped up 30 points. Bikes, Land Raider, Chaos Lord, Annihilator, Rhino, Vindicator, Chosen, Apostle, Defiler, everything went down. Also, Fabius Bile went down. The Hellbrute went down, which I actually think is amazing because he's like an auto. Because, double pack seems fucking good. But Disco Lord went down 30 points. Obliterators went up 10 and 20, obviously depending on what size squad. And Warp Talons went down 60 points for 10. Also, still probably too much. But
The other big one, the dude that they currently take that shoots all the times went up by 30 points, which is significant.
who, what, where, when?
The vehicle
Fiend.
that the Forge Fiend went up by 30. which
Oh,
is
got
a
it,
big
got it,
deal.
got it, got it.
What about Vastor? How many points did he go down by?
Not enough.
So bad.
Forge Fiend's only 15, so it's not as bad. I mean, if you're already taking a Hellbrute and you're just now taking Abaddon, because you got to take Abaddon. Like if you're taking that list that was just Obliterators, Forge Fiends, and Abaddon, like that's not going to work out for you exactly the same. However, if you were already playing the good CSM scoring units like Noise Marines were unchanged. Noise Marines are awesome. If you're not playing 3, I mean, I talked with Mark Perry recently. He's up to 6 units of Noise Marines in some lists. So if you're looking for a direction to go with those extra points, Noise Marines are where it's at.
Did Terminators go up?
Let's see.
Also, did Harkin go up or down? Because Harkin was really good before.
Terminators are unchanged.
Say
And-
Terminators are unchanged.
Harkin's
Harkin.
90 now. I don't know what he was before.
Yes, he's down 30 points. Harkin's down
Harkin was
30 points.
already really good, and now he went down in points. So
World claimer. Look at Mark. Got crazy Mark Perry shout outs. And then we've got a Brian, best TO in the universe. Shout out from Neil Burns.
Thanks, Neil.
Dark Angels. Are they forever broken because Crowley abused them?
they
Well,
went down.
they went down in points
They did.
substantially. On the
Talon
bikes.
Masters. Nice.
It's still, I don't know. I mean,
They're
it
still
gives itself
expensive.
lone operative if it hangs out with one of its buddies. I still think the Black Knights aren't doing enough damage for 110 points.
Agreed on that. But I've always hated that Black Knight. So
Terminator bricks with a Strike Master and other things for lethal and whatever you want to give them for otherwise buffs, still really good. I would be very curious to see if the -1 damage is a battle tactic stratagem, because then we're talking, okay, now we have a new king of holding objectives.
what about that
With all the
Deathwing
things
Command
that they-
Squad going down?
Yeah.
Yeah. Only by what, 5 points? Yeah.
It went down
10 points for the 10.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's not like a big thing, but like I think the Deathwing Command Squad is one of the few command squads that's like legit.
One of the biggest things that Dark Angels suffer for right now is that they, if you take their detachment, you can't take the Bolter Drill on the Hellblasters, which I think they do really well.
Yeah, I mean,
But-
as he going down 15 points is spicy.
It's a big
Great.
deal.
So the Unforgiven Task Force is the Unbreakable Alliance, the -1 damage, is a battle tactic.
See, now we're talking. Now we're cooking with gas.
I'm saying I think the Dark Angels actually got some pretty big buffs here, guys.
Yep.
Not like huge, but I mean like legit with other things happening. You know what I mean?
With as disrupted as the meta is right now, they're on the watch list of things that are going to go up probably more than they were expected to go up.
Yeah, I mean, like you're gonna have some guys that are really hard to shift here. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So,
I mean, Azrael with Hellblasters. I mean, Hellblasters are
I
still
mean,
solid.
Azrael
Semi
with
went down.
anything. I mean, Jeff's got this pointed it out. He goes, Azrael with Lieutenant on anything is basically good. You know what I mean?
Yep, fully agree.
It's legit. So let's screw down to Death Guard. Whoa.
Oh man, everything.
Yeah.
Everything went down.
I mean, their new deal that we can pick at the beginning of the game, and the fact that like everything went down, I think this is that Death Guard got what they need to be at least competitive. How about that? I think they're going to crawl out of the basement.
I mean, Mortarion went down 45 points. All right, I see you, Mortarion.
I mean, just everything went down. Like Poxwalkers won 10 models, 5 points. You know what I mean? Poxwalkers being 50, legit.
Yeah.
Like Marines went down by a significant amount.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 40 for 10. Yeah. So if you were
Yeah.
taking Plague Marines and Mortarion, you just suddenly got 200 points in your list.
Right. That's what I'm saying. You're getting, and this is what the army needed, though. You know what I mean? It needed more units, more abilities, or everything. Blightspawn, Fetid Blow Drone. You know what I mean? They just have like more models, and that's a big deal.
And if you got to look, I mean, Innis played Death Guard over the weekend and did fairly well with them. I think he only lost one game, and he did beat Eldar at one point. So I mean, this point change is going to help them immensely. I think they're in a much better state than they definitely were.
Yeah, and I mean the biggest thing here is like let's talk about one of the things that we were having a problem with before, right? Their Terminators were too expensive to be able to deep strike effective amounts of them to get around their movement speed. The reductions that we see are putting them into really nice spots where they can actually afford to use deep strike appropriately, right? That's a huge deal in and of itself. Also, their ability to pick what they need to reduce, right? You have 2-up saves. It'd be a shame if I was to reduce your save by one so that I could shoot you with my flame.
Exactly,
right?
and then just put a huge volume into you. So I think that's a big deal. I think this, I don't know if this army is just jumping up to A tier or anything, but like it is definitely way more competitive than it was before. And I really like the change to their make you gross thing. Why can I not talk? So that's really big. And then they just needed more models. So when you're making somebody, for one, having a worse save, and then you get way more shots because you have way more models, we'll see. I mean, they're still slow, but it's more.
But they are one of the factions that has the most amount of lethal in the game currently. And I think that there's a way that you can play this. Like, I think that you have a good amount of variance, and with enough trash on the table, you can just accidentally win games. I mean, 50 points Poxwalkers are just freaking
That's
good.
what I'm saying. You can put that shit everywhere. I think that you're going to be able to put enough models on the board to play this army. You know what I mean? Exactly, Austin. Minus one save and lethal hits is going to you're going to make your opponent roll a shit ton of dice.
I mean, 50-point cultists, 50-point Poxwalkers, that sounds like it's going to have a little hordish trash aspect to it. With some good elite Terminators, it seems like it's got a lot of potential.
How much did the Death Shroud Terminators go down?
I want to say they went down by a significant amount.
Hold on, I'll get it for you. I'm sorry. Looks like I wanted to say 15. Yeah, 15.
Yeah, I mean, you're still
and
going
then
to probably
30 obviously for the 6.
And then the Blow Drone went down 15.
So are Plague Marines viable at 80 points? All the special weapons they get?
Blow Drone went down 35 points.
35 points. See, I think that the Blow Drone are must-haves in your Death Guard because it's one of the fastest things that you have in your army. It can get up there and it can put those contingents on.
The Rhino
down as well, right?
Yeah, Plague Burst probably went down as well. The Rhino and the Plague Marines going down, along with the characters that you were wanting to attach, it makes this really interesting multi-wave army that you can play, right?
Because you need to get that contagion on people, but then you can shoot those long-range guns at things that have -1 save now. You know what I mean? So, and I'm looking to basically do anything that gives me just volume. I'm just going to roll a lot of dice, get some lethal hits, make you take a shit ton of saves. You know what I mean? And then I'll have enough models to actually play the game. So.
Death Guard are one of those armies that are shooting up into the middle tier and maybe even aggressive top middle tier. And I think that as stuff like Eldar go down, like the biggest problem if you wanted to win a major with Death Guard right now is Night Spinners still exist and are still going to get taken.
But the thing is, you're going to move into with a lot of stuff. You're going to deep strike. Here's my thing with Death Guard. Death Guard, like when I did the wish list, Sean and I were talking on Tuesday. One of the biggest things is raise the bottom up. This is
Raise the bottom.
Yes, well done, GW.
They
and
missed
Deathguard.
the mark with Votaan like hard.
We're gonna go in, but I'm saying like you're never gonna get you go up to the plate, you're gonna get some whiffs. You know what I mean? This great attempt. You know what I mean? Are they gonna be the kings of the universe? Probably not. Are they gonna be playable? Yes. So
how many points on average are we saving with Deathguard? 150?
like, so many. Like
wait.
like
more than
way
that.
more. It's just crazy.
I don't know.
Like
It
Matt,
depends on how
what,
you build your list.
It wouldn't know
could
because
be upward of 500.
what Matt Aaron just took. He put through Deathguard 2 Nova, and it's I'm going back 60, 150 off the top of my head with what he took. I'm already past 200 points. So it's
I think
a lot.
most lists that I've seen, it probably saves him between 2 and 260.
That
So-
dude that I played at Salt City, I think his list went down by over 300.
Yeah, the guy who played at Salt City, his list went down, because actually I was looking at that, went down like 350 points.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, that's just a significant amount of point, and they needed it though. That's the point. You know what I mean? Deathwatch. Deathwatch didn't change that much. Kill teams changed. The veterans, Spectrus, and the Proteus team all changed.
Yeah, so Deathwatch veterans went up 10 points. Proteus went up a couple points too, I believe.
Yeah.
I think they went up 20 points.
Nothing crazy.
I don't think this changes anything at all. Mark Hurdle did really well with Deathwatch. I don't know if his list changes at all, to be honest with you.
Frag storms changing, and missile launchers not getting access to the strats actually
True.
makes
Actually, that's true.
rethink how to play. I don't think the points mattered for them. I think really the changes to the rules hurt them.
They're still getting it on a lot of their things though, so I don't know. We'll have to see. You know what I mean on that. Drukhari.
Meh.
I mean, Ravagers, Scourges, and Dark Lances all got
Didn't Ravagers go up because of our good friend winning Nova with Ravagers?
Yes.
Yeah. They went up significantly. I mean, Aliens,
They were really
Incubate.
treated for triple.
It's just the army has no damage. So
Yep.
if you don't have a Dark Lance, you're literally hitting people with pillows. My Drukhari will still stay on the bottom shelf of Snakes' house.
You could literally give this entire army lethal hits, and I still don't know if they would actually be above middle tier.
It's
Granted, they
just-
have a lot of volume of attack.
It's just a fragile army with no. I'm just skipping these guys. Sorry, Dark Eldar. Sorry, Dark Eldar people. They have nothing. Gene Stealer Colt. We got a decent amount of changes to points, but the big thing is again the mechanics. As always, mechanics are more important than points. Thank you very much. A wise man.
I don't know, man. Because if I look at my GSC list that I was playing, it literally is up by 400 points. So I think they both hurt.
Yeah, talk. Yeah.
I do like that Brad and I put out the wish list for GSC, and they hit it 100%. Like, we got everything we wanted out of GSC. Looking at this, I think they went maybe a little too far. Because they're what's this, 20-point increases on the Primus and 10-point increases, 20-point increases on the unit. That is that is a lot. That is a lot to deal with.
You know what? The changes.
290-point increase. Yeah.
The changes to the GSC. I'm giving you guys the Ric Flair. Woo!
Well deserved, GSC players. Well deserved.
I was saying
They hit pure straight Gene Stealers because
Yep.
why?
Oh man.
I do have to say that Austin's 100% right. He goes, Ravagers punish because Eldar can take them. Like,
Yep.
Dark Eldar's like, hey man, we're gonna do this. You're like, no. Like, we didn't do anything wrong. You knew the guys that did.
The
Guilty by
death tester got
association.
nerfed. Yep.
GSC, well,
So are they playable or are they just
They went from A+, maybe S-, all the way down to C.
I don't know if they went to C, but I think that they went down at least 2. How about this? I'll say they're between BC. I still think they have a lot of play. They still have a lot of damage.
Yeah. Fully agree. But you can't do +1 to wound in 2 locations anymore. You don't guaranteed get your stuff back. So that means you can't guaranteed score for the rest of the game.
You're going to say they went down
And
to
you
C,
lost 300
and
points.
somebody's going to play these the very next game exactly like I said it before. Make all the rolls. They're going to be like, Crawley's full of shit.
Good.
These guys are amazing.
Prove me wrong. Make it to the point where everybody plays GSC at top tables. I would love that. Please do.
No, there's
All
never
right.
going to be that.
I've got to interrupt the little fighting going on. We have to get to the next section, and I am so excied. I skipped ahead.
I
Oh,
know.
man.
Come,
Next.
Grey-
Oh, I'm so excited.
I'm just saying that Grey Knight's got a few changes.
Woo! This is amazing. This is everything I wanted. You know, we got the overall rules changes. I think we're fine. And I'm looking over here at Paladins, and they dropped 60 points. The Terminators dropped 30. So, you know, Purgation Squad also dropped back down to normal because I have no idea why they were hit everywhere. If you're looking for that number, it is 55 points less now for a Purgation Squad.
Well,
Auto take 2. They're going in your list.
If you recall, they got hit when all of the indirect got hit.
You and Rogers are both very, very happy gentlemen this morning.
This is amazing. I've had a blast playing this army, and not only, you know, I had somebody ask me in the store the other day, like, how to make Dread Knights good, and I was like, but you know, turns out if you drop their points 30 and 35 points each, Dread Knights, I'll say it here first, Dread Knights are okay. If you want to take Dread Knights,
what does your army go down? I mean, is this? I'm trying to do the points real quick. Is it go to? Did you get 360 free points?
it's a lot.
You got an entire other big unit of guys.
So let's see, mine. Let's see, did we change? I'm looking for strikes.
The only disappointment for me is the Thunderhawk did not go down. It needed.
Yeah,
to
strikes
go
went down. Okay, so my list personally went down just on Terminators and strikes. That's 30, 40, 120, 150. So it's 150 just with Terminators and strikes, and I'm not going to math out the characters right now, but all the characters appear to have gone down as well. Double checking.
Yeah, everybody went down.
So about 200 points for you.
Yeah, Grey Knights just get, you know, those Purgation Squads. Yeah, you get those Purgation Squads added to your list again. That's what I like.
All right, so it's just what I say. You basically take your list and then you just add 2 Purgation Squads.
And that is a huge deal because now you have that. For anybody who didn't know, Grey Knights were actually awesome when you could drop Purgation Squads within 3 inches and then just flame on. And you could take objectives that way because you flame on and then they try to come stop you and you flame on again. And you go, okay, well, that can't be that good. Surprisingly, the Incinerator is the best weapon we have. So you just give them all Incinerators. It's strength 6, AP 1 damage, and ignores cover. Like, that's as good as it gets in Grey Knights, I'm sorry to say. Like, we didn't get the increase in AP like we wanted, but I'll take my Purgations. I'll take my 2 Purgation Squads in every list for free. Grey Knights were, like, really close to being fine, played very well, and now I think they're just there.
I mean, 5-man squads, that's 5d6 shots with the AP1 ignores cover. That's a hell of a drug.
46.
46.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
You got one guy with a spear. He's holding down. He's
holding down the melee fort.
He's poking them if they get close.
He's standing in front and saying, "You shall not pass."
Really, he's rolling three ones, and then you're moving on with life.
I mean,
Is there any play for their vehicle, Sean? Between
Yeah,
the
so
super
that-
land raiders and whatnot?
So the Redeemer obviously is the best one. Going down 30 points is nice. I think the problem with it, unless someone wants to correct me, is capacity. I believe the capacity is an issue. We don't need the mobility that a Land Raider gives us. Like, we have that in spades. Being smart with your rapid ingress plays is basically all the mobility you need. It does hurt us if you're taking the Grandmaster. Apparently you can't use you got to pay your 2 CP for being unable to be shot. I don't think that's a huge deal given that you're just getting 2 more units in your list. And I liked the Brother Captain anyway. Exploding 6s pretty good on all your weapons.
Look at Shaw.
85
Look at Shaw being so excited.
What about
85
Razorbacks, Sean?
Razorbacks, man. Those are cheap. That's a super cheap platform for a pretty good aggressive amount of shooting.
And it
Yes.
gives you reroll wounds.
Yeah.
And what I'm going to be trying right away is interceptors. Interceptors being 12-inch moving guys out of things like Razorbacks. That's a strategy I'm definitely looking to
I
try.
forgot they can even carry things. I'm just thinking about the gun platform. They actually get to carry stuff too.
Yeah, they carry 6 guys.
I'm legit. I'm moving on. John's excited. Crawley, what do you think about Imperial Knights? They got 3 changes.
They're garbage.
You're high on crack cocaine.
They're not actually garbage, but the problem is they're going to go down to low B tier now. With the not being able to buff themselves as well as the armatures, it creates the situation where we go back to armature spam, and GW terrain is not very kind, especially depending on what two layouts that they decide for that specific GW
But-
event, which you won't know advance.
Counterpoint though, have you ever thought about moving better?
I don't know, Brad. I've only gone to Nova twice and been top 3 both times. You're right. I don't know how to move whatsoever. I also won a freaking major with Knights. I have no idea what I'm talking about. Anyway, no, I just think that the problem that Knights have still exists, and that Knights still have low AP, and everything getting cover in this edition makes it to the point where a lot of times dice can just spike against you, and in a consistent 8 to 9 round event, dice will spike against you one time.
Hot
So,
take, CK is now better than Imperial Knights.
Yes,
In my humble
that.
opinion, yes. Especially
That
with
for
how
sure.
cheap their shit got.
If you want to take armature spam, as somebody who did take armature spam to a super major, Chaos Knight's definitely the way to go. If you love Baby Knights, Chaos Knights they do so much. If you want to play Imperial Knights, I actually think they're fine, but you do have to dip into the wallet for some Castigators. I think Castigator is actually pretty good now.
Being able to hide's a big deal now.
Yes, and you can poke out Helverins with extra AP and exploding sixes, and they can't shoot your platform for giving that back. You can just be like, no, and then here you have to shoot this Helverin, and then my army's going to step out and shoot whatever back.
Agreed.
The hard part is that I think that you're going to see Knights lean more towards melee now, and I think the Castigator is an excellent platform for that, because having freaking twin linked on your Avenger Gatling cannon is a hell of a drug. But I think you're going to lean more towards melee, because line of sight for Knights on long term is really, really hard to get on a lot of tables. So I think you're going
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, Lyle comes in with a $5 super chat. Hold on, I gotta stop laughing. I've been busy all morning, so I'm paying someone, not Crawley, to tell me what to think.
I'm done. I'm absolutely done. I'm leaving. Bye. I'm out.
Okay.
Oh man.
Rick came out to protect you, Crawley.
Oh man.
Oh,
Yeah.
let's talk about League of Votaan, my friends.
you gonna-
Dwarves.
You got to answer his question, Brad.
Well, we're gonna get it at the end.
Yeah, at the end, we're
At
definitely
the
doing the
end.
recap.
We'll
He's
recap
a
at the end.
working man. He's probably be teaching a class by then.
Well, now that the rate we're going, we're fucking gonna finish up at midnight. So, so the Crawley just left the building.
So,
he's
so
just gone.
what, about a 20% across the board points drop, roughly?
Yes.
Oh
Yes.
yeah, they got.
The
Is this
drop tokens help. It's just not enough.
I agree. The Votaan needed more. I think that they needed the Death Guard treatment where they got more. They tried a little bit. Obviously, they put them. They did change their mechanic, so I have to give them credit on that. But they just need more stuff.
Yeah, if you're looking for, obviously every unit went down, but units that I was looking at and trying to recommend for people to try and see if it was their style was the Thunderkin, obviously the Hearthguard, Sagittars, and the Land Fortress. That should not surprise anybody. And those units all got sizable reductions combined with, the new faction rule. And I believe someone commented in chat, we did get it a little wrong. It is +1 to hit and wound.
And wound for 2.
So that is very good when your units are cheaper, because you can trade things like, I don't know, Thunderkin out of reserve for real targets, and that is a big deal.
I mean, the big thing is that
All year needed.
Zerks went down quite a bit. So can you play
Yeah.
that army? Like a Sagittar Zerk army actually feels like it might be really playable.
Yeah, that combo. Let's see, 10 Zerks and a Sagittar, 300 points.
I mean,
So you could
it-
definitely make that happen.
I mean, it went way
Land
down.
Fortresses give you full rerolls to wound when you get out of them. You can get a 10-man squad to come out, and if it's something that you already have 2 tokens on, you're hitting on 3s and wounding on.
I mean, 2's a
4s
lot of
to
people.
5s.
Yeah. Well, no, it depends on what you're hitting. Actually, yeah, because
Yeah,
they're.
so that's real good.
I would say that. I mean, I would. I would lean into it then. We could go fortresses and Zerks with the amount they went down. They still need more, to be honest, but
But is that a codex issue at this point?
yeah,
Yes.
it's a codex issue.
The good part though is that Hearthguard are still fantastic, and you can still come down in your opponent's rear. And now, you just go with the double.
Lyle,
tokens
your
on
list is
whatever's
better
on the
now.
back squad.
Yes, Lyle, your list went down
Yeah.
slightly, and all your rules are unaffected. All your bad matchups
Well,
got better.
also his Blood Angels, like he has all of the jumping troops. So those were.
Well, he said Dark
Dark
Angels.
He's Dark Angels.
I'm saying
he's playing-
I said also.
Oh,
He's playing the Polish Dark Angels list, and it went down like
Yeah.
50 points.
Yep. And Eldar got us a little bit weaker, so you're gonna have. Oh, sorry, you don't want my opinion. Never mind.
Oh! League of Votaan needs a little bit of juice. Let's go down the Necrons. Necrons, I don't know, to be honest with you. The offenders went up, but like the jump pack guys went down, and the Praetorians, Scorpex. So like, I don't know. I don't know.
Tony's
If
list got better.
Considering my Necrons are on that shelf over there, I think Necrons are going to be fine.
yeah,
Yes, big offenders got hit,
but it hit hard.
so bad.
50 points is a lot on Lich Guard.
Let's 20 and 40.
So you're not
That's right.
running 20 of them. You're running 10. You're going
Uh,
a little more into some other stuff.
Crypto Thralls
I
went
still
up
think you run
20.
20.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Crypto
could be
Thralls went
right.
up 20. Transcendence Catan went up 20, which you kind of knew after he got his buff. Because he can take the 4-up invul and then he can heal himself. Warriors went down 10 and 20. All your punchy destroyers all went down a little bit. Heavy destroyers went up 5, 10, 15. And the Hexmark destroyer went up. So basically, a lot of the things that people were taking went up some. If you were taking destroyers, you got more stuff. I don't know if this changes the list, though. I think you just keep playing
Well,
the same
I think
thing.
yeah, I was just about to
Austin
say.
points out that you can't get the free regeneration by strat.
No, that's true.
So it's way less durable than it was before.
Oh, then you just go Warriors. You just go Warriors, son.
Well, I think Silver Tide's going to be the way that you go, and you take Cesarez because he's freaking ridiculous.
He's awesome.
Yeah.
He also went down quite a bit, didn't he? He went down.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you just go Silver Tide, and then you take like a few 10-man so that you can put them in the transports for the funds that goes with that.
Yeah, Sarah's went
I
down
also-
35 also, bro.
And the Seraph Tip Heavy Construct, I still think if you go the Warrior Spam list, is a fun, cute thing to have in the backfield.
That is
just don't
actually-
take the Dev Wound Gun.
Yeah. Well, it's just, I think that this army is, I think it just sidestepped. You're gonna change your army a little bit, but I don't think it changes a lot of it. How about that?
I don't think it drops out of A tier at all.
No, I think it's
Well,
fine.
I think what we're going to see now, especially with the NID book coming out, is that the game is now in a position where Dev Wounds are nerfed, where we can start seeing hordes. And I think that Tyranids with their endless swarms, Necrons with the Silver Tide bullshit, a lot of armies can pivot into, cool, everybody's been taking anti-tank. It would be a shame if I brought 300 models, right?
You might come back.
Because that was one of the big problems with
Yeah.
GSC.
Yeah, because it spilled over. I think that you have. I think Necrons took a sidestep, but I think it took a sidestep with the changes to Devastating, with the changes to things like even Desolators being only 5. I think that you sidestepped, but you actually have more options now with Necrons. You know what I mean? You can bring. It's not boom. This is what I'm taking. Unless you're Corey, who's a crazy person. I think he takes lists just to hurt my head. And send them.
I agree with him. Doomsday is still really good.
Yeah, and also Silent King going down to 50 points. He wasn't the reason you played the army, but if you have a Silent King that you loved and then converted, like I do, 50-point reduction on that unit definitely makes you take a second look at it. I don't know if we'll get there, but 50 points down is a lot.
You know,
What about monoliths? Monoliths going down a substantial
They still
amount of
suffer
points.
from the same problem of you can't really put them in the places that you want to put them because they're giant F-off
they are
models.
starting to get legit, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, the navigating a GW table with a monolith is a nightmare.
Yes. Also, you can't place it anyways because it doesn't have enough movement to actually make it over the little pieces, so
Yeah.
it just falls off them.
It's just a pyramid. It's a
You can put it
stationary
in your
pyramid.
corner to have this really cool shooting thing that sits in your corner and moves as far forward as it can till it gets
My
stuck.
thing is I actually like Necrons more now because while I still think they made a sidestep, the sidestep offered up I think, at least 2 more builds. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because now you
3.
get yeah, possibly on that. Because
I think the vehicle spam model the list
Yeah.
is still really good that
and the
nobody's
thing,
running.
and the thing is that your infantry spams could be different looking now. You know what I mean? So, and then little things like the destroyers were going down. You know what I mean? You could just take more shit. So,
Yep.
Just
move better.
exactly.
Just move better.
Oh, dude, I knew you would throw that in my face. I loved it. I softballed it in for you. I knew you did it out of the park. You didn't let me down, my friend. Hold on. All I need to know. Let's talk about my orcs.
Can we get a wog?
Whoa.
No, you got to get him drunk. I will tell you, his was improves significantly when he's absolutely smashed during the shadow round.
It's true. I also took a wog victory lap also. That's a real thing that happened.
Hey, I see a lot of things that were in your list that suddenly turned red. So what did you do to the orc players?
Look at the points went down. I gotta find exactly the specifics because I keep scrolling way up and way down. Screw it. Sean,
Did Zagstruck go
I
down?
got it.
Sean's in charge.
20 point. Okay, so Brad's least favorite unit in orcs is the beast boss because he has to bring 10 chumps
10
along to
idiots
do
with
anything.
him.
So that's why Brad doesn't like him. That unit went up.
Yeah.
However, that is eclipsed by the fact that Brad's almost favorite character. Now it is Badrek because he's a pirate, and also the guys riding dinosaurs are cool. And one of the guys riding dinosaurs went down. No, it's not the big one. It is the little one. The knob on Smash.
I'm on Smash Squig. That's what I was
15
saying.
point. Fantastic.
100%. That's awesome sauce.
And that pirate Badrek also went down 15 points. So we're starting good there.
Hold on.
Wait, Badrock went down in points?
Matt
Yes.
Mano comes in with his $5 super chat. He goes, Brad, would you like to apologize to orc players now? They want you to sit in front of the Captain America so you screwed up video.
Oh,
Don't do
man.
that. I don't know
Did
who
the
told
unit
you
go
to do that.
down
Don't
too?
do
Did
that.
Badrock's unit go down?
No, I believe they're unchanged. Let me
Unchanged.
double check.
Flash
So the
Kid's got
unit went
unchanged.
down by 20 points. Oh my god. How do demons get raked over the coals and
Hey,
flash
whoa,
kits are
whoa,
like,
whoa.
yeah, we're fine.
Trucks went up 10 points.
Oh,
That is
I'm
true.
sorry.
That is
I'm
true.
sorry.
Trucks to go up 10 points.
I'm so sorry. You're right. What however could I
Did it
misunderstand?
Gretchen go down?
Gretchen went down 5 points.
Yep.
They went down 5 points because someone kept forgetting their runt herd, so therefore the unit was considered to be weaker than it was.
Screw you, man. True story, though. I think Squig Boys should have went down 50 points, but
No. Oh no.
No,
Oh, no.
This is why we're not putting you in charge of balancing this game. Holy
also
crap.
mech guns went up, which I did enjoy just saying bubble chuck a lot, but they were already on the cutting block. Let me show you what's happening to the mech guns. Catapult. Actually, we're not even putting them in the catapult. We're trebucheting them. Whooshing. See you later. I freed up some points in my army. So
Yeah.
This seems all very minor.
my list actually went down. If exactly what I took at Nova, with the mech guns being gone, my list goes down in points. So I'm good. And also, again, Dev Woods not splashing over makes my orc heart happy. It's like, hey, did Timmy get shot? Everyone dies. It's not something I wanted.
Because you know whose dev wounds didn't get hurt? Orc dev wounds.
That's
We were
right,
going
baby.
after those big boys anyway.
Yeah, I was just want to say it only works on monsters and vehicles anyways. So prepare to get punched right in the gut. So those work. So I'm looking for anything else that got changed. Gorkanaut and the Morkanaut, I think, both got reduced. Not so you're going to take them. And did the giant squig off didn't get down? That makes me sad.
Why is the Stampa still 800 points?
Yeah, good question. But
the GW board, and they don't want you to play them.
exactly, mech guns are meh.
Do you think that you switch out your mech gun for your dragster again because you were having so much fun with the dragster before?
Possibly, to be honest.
Because it gives you a really good scenario piece, and it's also just a gorgeous ass model.
Yeah, I like a lot of for Anna on this as the original speed boss. I think a lot of the buggies are pretty good. I think they actually could use a buff in their points though. I think they could go down like 5, not like a ton, but like it would make it nicer if they're 5 or 10 points on each.
Okay.
As I would say, they
Now-
made it into our list like every other time.
Right.
So Brad, sent me 40 lists, and 20 of them they were there.
We're gonna cut you off from orcs like we cut our good
Fine,
friend
I'm going
Sean
down.
off from Grey Knights.
Space Marine. I mean, we only have a tiny little thing to do here with Space Marines. Sean,
31 points over.
do it.
Oh man, there's a lot of red on here to just be doing it.
I mean, they're all over the place.
So the one you care
That's what
about,
she said.
Desolation Marines effectively went up. Yes, they're 5-man squads now. They are up 30 points, basically 15 points per 5. We have random Tigurius going down 5 points. I don't even know why we're mentioning him. He doesn't do anything I care about. The Redeemer went down 35 points. That is a huge deal. If you don't have Land Raider Redeemer, that's the flamethrower one. Go get one. Like, it's really good. It was already great, and now you can just
Is
take more of
Brutalis
it.
at 175 even worth considering still? Because it's still worse than a knight.
It doesn't. If he had anti-tank guns to the point where he was this close range, I wreck the tanks. Sure, but for some reason, this edition is we hate Melta. Dun
Yes.
dun 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 dun. So as long as he has Melta guns and not las cannon, las Meltas.
I
then-
think the ballistas dreadnought is worth considering at 150.
Yes, that I agree with.
Yeah.
Long range, good shooting, holds down a backfield objective, just annoying enough to kill to be a pain in the ass. Agreed. Did Centurions go down?
Yes, Centurions did go down 30 points per 3, so they're down 60 points, down to 350.
But hey, hold on. Can we pour one out for the t-shirt guns?
No, they
were
needed to
dumb.
die in a fire.
I still haven't even built them. So
Dude,
all
I'm
the
still upset.
I
they
mean,
needed to die.
come on. They went down from 10 to 5, man, and they went up in points again. They literally, like, they got a killer combo thrown on them.
So let's go with 2 Brad quotes. The killer combo quote that he just made, and then also, all I need is a 10-man squad of Desolation Marines with Belter Drill, and I could solo a GSC army in one game. So
Yeah.
these quotes kind of misguide each other a little bit.
Whoa. I didn't say it wasn't warranted. I just said, are we pouring it out?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
It was them and a girly man. You needed the girly man to mop the thing around.
Yeah.
he randomly went
Really?
up 50 points.
Punched in the face.
Yeah,
Gillen's 380 now.
That's 80-point increase, right?
Tactical war suits, 150 now.
He was 330.
These guys got hit like a decent amount for not putting up a huge win rate, by the way.
But they're about to get a codex. It's
They're
fine.
about to get a
They'll
codex. All right,
rerolls.
fine. I'm scrolling past. You know what?
I think Marines are fine. They actually went down a lot of units.
True. Suppressors.
Yes, if you play the garbage units, they went down a lot, and they're really good right now.
yeah.
Yeah,
Gilman,
exactly.
Gilman going up 25. Calgar going down points. Lancers going up. You don't really need to care about the rest of it. It's going to change in a month.
It's not even a month. I think we got a couple weeks of this, but let's scroll down.
Yeah.
Let's scroll down.
So the Wolves,
Wolves. Oh,
Santa's
5
play
Wolfen
went
for
down.
80 points seems like a really good buy.
I swear to God, if they, I will punch you guys right in the head. Yeah, it would be awesome if they weren't equipped with a steak knife and a freaking box fan. Yeah, figure out how I got those combinations. However, give me some point totals on these so I don't have to scroll back down.
All right, so big ones to watch out for. Thunderwolf Cav, actually a solid unit now.
Legit.
The 6-man went down 20 points each. Logan Grimnar, also fine unit. He was a little pricey. He dropped 45 points
Dude,
on
the slaves.
check notes. Yeah, 55 points on the sleigh.
I was just thinking
So-
he might have been more on the sleigh. So it's like, oh, whoa. That's like legit. I would take Logan on a sleigh for 180 points. That thing
Yes.
bangs, by the way.
I think on GW terrain, there's a really cool thing where you could take Logan and a bunch of Thunderwolf cavalry and just run them up a flank, especially on the one where you have the L on the flank to cover your approach, and that could be scary good for how much damage that you could
Also,
do when you just unpack them.
What's Wolfen Dreadnought? It's 130 now. It was
155.
Yeah.
So it's 15 points on that one.
And also, let me feel free to
25.
mispronounce this like I usually do. Woofin Dreadnought. I actually think that the Wolfen Dreadnought with Logan on a sleigh with some Thunderwolf Cav is a legit army right now.
100%.
Yeah, I mean, you get the anti-vehicle with the melee that actually doesn't suck and a 4-up invul and
Right.
the -1 damage. That's pretty
Exactly,
good for
man.
130
And
points.
they're also fast, dude. All of this shit's
Yep.
fast, and everything there has everything that we just said. All has an invuln. All has a good toughness. You know what I mean?
Hey.
And without towering seeing over, and without mortals carrying, over it spilling over, I think that you could actually push this up on somebody.
Brad, I know you were talking about that you needed to play something for Frogtown. You also need your last score with Wolves. Is it time for the Wolf Pack?
I know I already have it. I'm number one with wolves.
Okay,
I need
never
another
mind.
score with
My
orcs.
bad.
But I kind of want to play that. I'm gonna call Sam and just be like, "Hey, bring me all of the Thunderwolves in a sleigh." Actually, I think I might play that. Ooh, I'm gonna. You know what? Next week, I'm going to put up a poll about whether I'm playing Space Wolves or whether I'm playing Orcs.
You're not gonna. You know that the tournament is next weekend, right?
Yeah, I'll do it on Monday or Tuesday.
You make it seem like he's not borrowing all the models from everybody.
I mean,
Yeah,
that's
like
true. That's
1,000%.
true. Hey, I tried this whole borrowing an army thing where I played Sniggs' army for Eldar. Felt really good not having to worry about bringing my own army home at the end of the day. It was fantastic. I need to try this borrowing an army thing.
Well, it would have been real tough for you. Side story. Tom wanted to leave. Tom said that he gave Crawley a hard cutoff of time. That he said he was just taking the models off stream and leaving because he wanted.
We warned GW, and GW was like, "We'll tackle him if he tries to come on the table to take the models off screen."
It was going to be a tough game. I think
No
Crawley,
one's tackling Tom, I'm sure.
Crawley's
It's not
got
gonna
this
happen.
game really under control. Well, not anymore because he lost a significant amount of models this turn. Because they got killed? No, because they got taken.
No. Brandy, don't act like Curtis couldn't take. Ogden.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh God.
Oh boy.
I actually
might
think
make his head explode, but
I
not.
actually think the Space Wolves look fun and legit. So
look
I'm
really
scrolling
good.
down.
They look better than Blood Angels right now.
Yes.
Not a high
actually.
bar.
Yo, shots fired. So,
Oh,
Brandon, tell me about Tau.
Oh, all the good stuff went down. For some reason, they made Ghost Kills even cheaper now, and they were already an auto take unit. So the list that I had been toying around with went down 160 points. So about 15% drop. Or not 15%, but whatever. But like, Farsight went down 30 points. All the commanders went down some points. Shadow Sun went down 40 points. Crisis Suits went down 15 points per 3. Cell Suits went down 15 points per 3. Kroot, the most important unit in the Codex, went down 20 points.
The most important unit.
bro, they
How
didn't
about-
touch Tetras.
And
Like,
the
that's
Kroot shape-
They did touch
insane.
Tetras. They did touch Piranhas.
Tetras
Yeah,
are also like if Tau was stronger, Tetras are actually broken.
I honestly think that like right now, this is probably one of the sleeper codexes because of the amount of things that went down from the top and how good they are. It's just you have to make sure that you win super hard when you win because you'll blow yourself up with your rolls.
Hey, are Skyrays at a
Yeah.
$130 playable?
Yes.
Yes, very much so.
So I was talking with Justin Cook, and he's thinking about running 3 Hammerheads, 3 Skyrays, 6 Piranhas, 4 Tetras.
Did Hammerhead
And
go
his-
down as well?
Yes, they did. They went down 10 points. The only problem is the railgun got nerfed because of the devastating wounds change, so you're
Yeah.
taking ion cannons.
No, you still take.
Wait.
you still
didn't it
take
get-
the rail cannon.
Yeah, it didn't get buffed.
You
No, just
don't
don't get a
care-
save.
You
Yeah,
don't
it's the
care
same.
about
Well, on the
freaking-
6.
Yeah, but you don't care
Sure.
about dev wounds with the long strike. Because when were you shooting
I was
long
saying-
strike
I
at
was saying-
vehicles and
yeah.
praying for a 6?
I was going to say, literally,
Sometimes you have to. Against I was doing that against world
You
leaders.
you
Brandon
iron
really-
cannon it up.
Brandon really likes to kill one guy. He's like, I'm going to shoot that infiltrator squad over there with my rail gun. It's like, why?
So breacher bombs went down like 50 points. Broadsides went down a shit ton of points. Like they went down 20 points per model.
I love Kyle. I could taste the salt from here. Must be nice to get buffs, jerks.
Listen, Fish of Fury, I think, is going to be a good viable strategy now with a large squad of
Dude,
of
Farsight.
Yes, 205 points for the
Farsight,
characters.
Farsight 90 points, baby.
Yep.
He was good at 120, and they just made him.
I'm just saying, he's Crisis Battlesuits with Farsight is legit, and he gets more people to come with him. I actually think this army goes up at least a level, maybe even 2.
I think it goes up to A.
I mean, I thought it was solid B tier. I think it's A tier. I think this could compete with Eldar.
I honestly think that if a good pilot like Tom or Brenton was willing to play this because they were not seduced by OP shit, that they would actually, we'd see a Tau
would not
rising.
be seduced. I don't have an Emperor meme where I'd be putting it there right now. Good. Let the hate flow through you.
Yeah, but a lot of the scary shit that I was worried about Tau don't exist anymore. Like Wraith Knights, don't care.
Losing
Chaos
Phantasm?
Demons.
Losing Phantasm on vehicles makes the Eldar matchup so significantly more playable for the Tau player because when they stick out a Fire Prism, it's gone. It's done.
What Brad and I went over in the deal with it Tau is Tau have 2 main things that were keeping them down. The first was splitting fire is hard to pick up trash units. If you just have more units,
you don't have
now
to,
less of a problem.
I don't need to split fire.
You don't have to split fire. Yeah.
Right. You get a whole nother unit just multiplied. The other one was you can't shoot somebody back. Eldar is rough for that. It is now significantly less rough. And I am not afraid of your infantry phantasming away because that means you're in range of my guns, and that's all that matters.
The other significant thing to talk about here is because of the nerfs to towering, the Storm Surge becomes more of an aggressive piece, and I think that was a better place for it to be in the long run anyway.
Agreed.
Also, because now you can touch the middle thing and just shoot the table, and it's fantastic.
Are we going to talk about one of my favorites, the stealth suits? Whew.
They're nice and cheap now. They're in a good spot.
That's cheap.
They still have the homing beacon too.
Yep.
Can we talk about the Riptide that went down like 45 points?
I don't even know if he still makes it for me because there's so much other good shit.
Yeah,
I was just about to say that.
The Riptide needs strength 12, man. If it doesn't have strength 12, you might as well be taking Crisis at that point.
I think Crisis just get more shots, but the damage 4 is tempting.
Yeah.
On strength 9, like, okay,
that's the problem.
What do I need damage 4 on that I'm not wounding on 5s? I would rather have volume of fire with cyclics and actually be able to achieve my goals in life. Okay.
So you're 100% right, Crawley, but for a different reason. You'd want it against Custodes, but more Crisis are just better against Custodes because AP2 ignoring cover is exactly what they don't want to see.
You just want the volume. I think that this army is just nuts.
You know what would be perfect, to be honest, is if the freaking thing had devastating wounds with the new devastating wounds, and I hope Tau gets a better codex for that. Then I would say the Riptide would be amazing because then when you get those 6s, then you're just like, that Terminator is gone. I don't need to deal about it. I don't need to worry about it. I do hope that the new devastating wounds lets us open up more devastating wounds platforms to be able to have it where they weren't because Mortals was dangerous, but we'll see.
I think that Tau might be.
I think there's a couple lists
that
are going to start.
We're gonna do this at the end. We do the recap because we're gonna get biggest winners and losers.
Yep.
Thousand Suns.
Oh man.
Good job, TJ. You got this army nerfed to the fucking ground. You and Vic Vijay.
This took a couple hits, guys.
I literally was on my list of like armies that I was going to play after the data slate because they weren't going to get touched. Oh my god, was I wrong?
How did they get touched?
Okay, so Armon, I want to just say everything went up points, which is mostly accurate. Anything you were taking went up points. I mean, that's we have Armon going up 20 points. Armon on disc going up 25
points. I was just like, why?
We have Exalted Sorcerers going up 10 points. We have Basic Sorcerers going up 10 points. Infernal Masters going up 15 points. That's because of the combo you can do with them to get some extra damage. Less good now that Dev's wounds are changed. Still, Magnus, you're still taking him. There's almost a point number that it doesn't matter. You're taking Magnus. He went up 30 points. Don't care. Mutalith Vortex Beast. These are the 2 tax units. You were taking Magnus. You were taking Vortex Beast. Vortex Beast up 20 points.
Still an auto because he doubled your range.
You just take him. Just take him. You take him no matter what. Rubrics. You need to take Rubrics some number. They went up 10 points per 5. Scarab Cult Terminators up 10 points per 5. This is something that I wanted to stop real quick. I have been leaning more and more away from Terminators ever since I put them on the table in 10th. They just are a lot of
Europe's
points.
already doing that already. They've been paying
Yeah.
a shit ton of rubrics.
So I started playing practice games, and I ended up stopped playing Thousand Suns because I kept on taking 1,000,000 mortal wounds from the Wraith Knight. But my current list does not include any Terminators. It just plays a bunch of sorcerers.
This kind of hit
instead.
point wise though, but like their rules are still good.
They're suffering from a lot of other problems because of the fact that now devastating wounds are a problem. Now it creates another gap for them because
Yeah, but
they
if
were
you,
kind of
if you just
relying on death.
make devastating wounds on not regular attacks and stuff still just do carry over. Like
Those mortals do, yes, because those are not devastating wounds; those are mortals.
I think they're still fine. I just think you lost enough stuff out of the army that taking a unit away from you is kind of big in that army.
They're probably staying about where they are now.
I mean,
right? They're opposed.
Yeah, I mean, you lose like what, an entire unit of rubrics and something else.
No, you lose. You're going to
Yeah,
drop
so-
the Terminators, pick up another unit of rubrics, and then have some toy points.
If you were still had the Terminators, the Basilisk, they didn't really have them, so you're getting hurt more. The big problem with this is as you take points out of Thousand Suns, you lose Cabal, and without Cabal, you just cannot play.
Yep.
So that is a very scary thing to see if you're a Thousand Suns player. Is everything going up
it does
points.
become more fragile because your losses are huge to you.
Yeah.
So I'll give you that 100%. We'll cap on this. Tyranids, I mean, they just came out, so
Ryan, are the points do the points in this match the points in the books with the adjustments that you were talking about?
No, they do not.
Specifically in the book, at
Right.
the points, there is legitimately a section that has a QR code saying, go here for the most recent points.
I understand, but my question is like Biovores went down, right?
No.
Did they
So
go?
in here, they are 45 points. In this, which are the current match play points,
75.
See, that's my concern is that these are. I know that this is not a valid concern. My concern is these are updates from the current point levels, not updates for the book. Because, for instance, if you look here, the
So-
Harpy's 215.
If you listen to their meta review stuff,
They said that this is the most
this
recent.
is the point.
Okay.
This is intended
Yeah.
with they are.
I mean, Harspex is still 125, which
Yep.
is fucking fantastic.
Well, the thing is I think that we'll do a whole thing on Tyranids.
The Exocrin's what, 135 now? I think he's
One-
at.
135.
Yeah, which is still ridiculous.
The thing that got hit pretty hard was Zoe's.
Yeah.
Yep.
Zoe's got
Yeah.
hit pretty hard.
The emissary took a 5-point hit before it even ever saw the table. Rest in
Yeah, you're
pepperonis.
still taking that guy anyways. So.
You are absolutely still taking it.
100%.
The Walkrent took a hit, which I was hoping wasn't going to. The Zoe's hit a decently big hit.
He's the Swarm Lord took a massive kick.
You weren't going to play the Swarm Lord. You can pay for Spore Mines now. But you're going to take the 20-point single point dudes plus the Biovores, and that should cover your scoring.
And
Unless
the new Lictor is still fine. He went up slightly. He's 65.
He's
Right.
definitely worth it. You definitely want to take the
100%.
Neuro Lictor over the normal Lictor. For
Oh.
5 points, getting an invuln that's good
Yeah.
and an extra wound, you want that.
Yeah, so it's a 12-inch aura.
Yeah.
The guy that can just
Like-
show up 9 inches away. So yeah,
So when does that codex come out officially? Saturday?
Saturday.
Okay.
We'll hit this when it actually comes out more and really dig down. I'll crawling a session of hanging out and making more lists, which I already have been. I've got stuff for you. I'm going to scroll down because of that fact, because these really didn't change them that much. World Leaders went significantly down. Does this make them legit? Because I mean, they went down like a lot. So
I still feel like they suffer from being what they wish they were like Custodes are.
they
They're
are
not a
still
pushed melee focus.
they are still Custodes light. It's not even close.
Right, but they're not like Diet Coke. They're diet whatever you
They're-
get from Kroger.
Fago or whatever. big
Dr.
K,
Cola.
big
Yeah.
K cola or something.
Yeah, they're Diet Big K Cola, right?
Dr. Sam there.
Yeah.
Walmart.
They don't have a mechanic that lets them melee well, and the only thing they do is melee.
So actually, I kind of disagree with that a little bit. I don't know how many World Eaters games you guys been playing with, but since I did a faction video on them, just for everybody watching, I make sure I play the faction videos like the lists out to make sure they're actually fine. And I'm fine with world leaders with points drops.
I think their mechanics are fine, actually.
Yeah,
I agree on
they're
that.
solid. I'm not worried about them being Custodes life. That's not what they're trying to do. They're not trying to hold the board. They're trying to flood you.
We were just talking about that on Tuesday. I think the mechanics are fine. They needed huge point drops. I actually just don't know if these are enough.
Oh yeah, the Carmona makes a good point. I do think Berserkers need to be cheaper. I think they need to be 85 points. Woe to the world if Berserkers are 85 points, and they would actually be representative.
Eightbound are down 40 and Exalted are down 60, and I still don't know if that's enough. Because again, they only can punch you.
I agree with Carmona completely. The problem that we're running into with this army is the reason they're playing Custodes light is because they don't have the damage up. If they were to, I touch that and it evaporates, then it's just a matter of getting to that point. It'd be fine. But they don't evaporate anything that they touch. And then they're just being stuck in places that they're not able to actually do enough murder and kill. And if they get seen, they die instantly.
Well, that's not exactly true. You do have the option to just remove whatever you touch. The problem is if you're trying to play Berserkers don't do anything.
No.
If you try to remove units Berserkers, that's just wrong. What you were doing as a World Eaters player playing often enough is just taking Terminators, and Terminators just got it done for you. You have Angron as your big distraction piece, which Angron just takes care of whatever he wants. He goes down, and then you have your follow-up being 1 or 2 units of Terminators to actually, put the hurt on somebody. That strategy really hasn't changed, and the actual, if we're going by specifically the data, the best World Eaters lists are taking Khorne Lord of Skulls, and they went down. You don't get towering, but you can still reroll all your hits with your Khorne Lord of Skulls. So that's still really good shooting.
Yeah. And the thing is with this, I'd like that. It's weird because I think even a point difference in the Jackals would make a big difference for me, because I would like to just spam out my backfield with that. So I just think that the World Leaders should play as a control army, pushing up and basically just taking things from you. I mean, they kind of play like I play with the Orcs, you know what I mean? Which is just put shit everywhere, but they just need more shit, to be honest.
Yep.
You know what, guys, we're gonna rock out. We're gonna do a recap here. Who is biggest winners, biggest losers right now?
Biggest loser, Chaos Demons.
Yeah.
Biggest winner, probably Death Guard.
I agree with that.
I think Tao's the biggest winner, and I think I agree. Chaos Demons are the biggest loser.
I'm kind of gonna. I gotta go with Grey Knights. I think Grey Knights are in the same spot as Tau, where like you just got points drops enough to make you just better, just against everything. Everybody that was a problem got brought down. Doesn't matter if you agree with how much they did get brought down, and you got pushed up. So, yeah, I'd go with those two.
I think with Tau, the points definitely help, but I think there's some mechanic issues in that army that's still holding them back a little bit. And I feel the same way about Sisters. There's still a couple mechanic issues that would, if they were addressed, they'd be better. Death Guard definitely got a little bit of a glow up, especially since you can take more just basic guys and throw them in rhinos, and you have a little bit more maneuverability now.
I think that you're gonna stealth see IG start to show up more. We've got a lot of the players doing that, and I'm actually psyched to see some of the more control, the middle armies, the things that I like, the wolves, the orcs, and stuff like that. Didn't get big buffs. Well, the wolves did. The orcs just kind of evaded nerfs, and the output for other armies being less, especially the devastating wounds, is a big deal. I think you're going to see more armies be viable, and that's kind of my overall take on that, because you can hide from shit now.
Mm-hmm.
Towering, devastating wounds, you know what I mean, stuff like that. I say you're gonna hide from stuff, and people are just gonna bring that artillery list for IG and be like, Brad was full of shit. So
Matto, where are CSM going to be? I do like a Cursed Cultist. Their biggest detractors were Alaris, Custodians, and Desolators, and you're going to see less of those now. You definitely want to take out some Noise Marines. As I said, they're just way too good for how cheap they are.
Do you think
Still,
people are going to take less Aluris when you're comparing a 5-man or 6-man Aluris block to guard now?
you're going to see less of them because you're going to see less Custodes. I mean, they're just
True.
not. They're
True,
just not going
true,
to be as
true, true.
prevalent. So
But you might see more Grey Knights. How do they stack
Ooh,
up against
how
Grey
about-
Knights?
Hold on. You know,
Fine.
I'm going to give this real quick before we go, everyone. What are the top 3 armies in the game at post Thursday?
I think Eldar is definitely top 1. Space Marines, I'm going to hold judgment till the Codex comes out. I still think they're losing 30 entries, so you can't even really take them under consideration. Tau, I think Tau has the ability to punch up there and probably Tyranids.
Eldar Kron Nids.
you son of a gun. You same thing. It's almost like we are good friends and know each other. Yeah, same thing. Eldar Krons and
on
Nids.
it as well. So
Eldar are still at least 1 full tick above the rest of everybody, but Krons have a really good and interesting game, and they have multiple builds now. And Nids are just in a fantastic spot because a lot of the things that were hunting them now got away. So when the Exterminators get eliminated,
Sleeper pick Dark Angels. I actually think Dark Angels, Apothecary, Biologist, Bolter Discipline, Aggressor type stuff. Watch out for that too.
if we're picking sleeper picks, I think that the sleeper pick's probably going to be guard with the points reductions and the way that the meta is swapping and how scary Artie guard was. Oh boy. And
I pulled him. That's why I picked him, baby.
Sentinel bullshit.
That's why I picked him. I love it. You got 2 quotes on the wall. Marine Army should shift to all tanks, Land Raiders and Tech Breeds, and then Hunter just coming in, bold, telling everybody, screw you guys. Hot take, spaces are coming back, and I'm about to quit playing around with you fools.
So, Brad, what's your top 3?
I don't know, to be honest with you.
That's the question. And don't have an answer.
That's
I love
literally
it.
why. I still think Eldar's top, to be honest with you.
There's no question.
Eldar, I need to see more guard games because I'd like to say that they can possibly be in the top 3. And then I want to see. Thing is Tyranids have a lot of play right now, but I don't know if they're 2 and 3. But I know that they're really good. What I do like what they did, I'm going to give GW props in this one, is the fact that I think there's multiple armies that are now very, very, very playable. I mean, like tournament-wise, I mean, at the top tables, there's way more room for other armies than there was before.
I feel like Eldar now are in the position that Nids were after the first nerf, in that the good Nid players are going to go up good Eldar players are going to go up significantly because you lost enough of your trash to the point where you have to play carefully. And Eldar is one of those difficult armies where if you fuck up even just a little bit, your game is gone, and now you don't have that breathing room for your fuck ups.
Yeah. And I agree with Matt on this. The meta does seem scrunched. The bottom doesn't seem so hopeless. And that's a big thing. I have to give them they didn't hit it out of the park, but they definitely are on base. You know what I mean? This was a real strong deal. So
who's still at the bottom?
Votaan.
Sisters.
Sisters
and Votaan. I mean, but still Votaan.
So
I think Sisters have way more play than Votaan.
Yeah, 100%. They can play the game. They can just
mean,
play the game with lots of small units.
The only question that I will ask for you, fine gentlemen, at this point is how concerned are you now that we're only getting data slates every 6 months?
Very.
Because that feels like a very large drought
Too
for
long.
the low factions. Like Sisters have no hope in sight.
Aren't Sisters one of the first codexes next year?
No, they're not even on the.
They're not even on the
now.
docket.
Okay.
Sisters are still going to win at a decent win rate, by the way. I say that, but I'm going to put it this way. Sisters' damage output is awful. Sisters' ability to win games is not awful because of the fact they have the trash. You can always win games with trash.
It's probably one of the best trash tier armies. Like, just the quantity of units that you
Two-man
get.
units, man, for nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, it's legit on that. Legit. Maybe even too legit.
Too legit to quit, even.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. I love Matt comes in with what with on the delay he will hear. So on that note, everybody, we appreciate you hanging out with us for a long time. Hopefully it was a good time. Everyone, Queens, wave it up.